Yeah. All right. Welcome. We are live. Wrestlemania 35 in the books. This is the Wrestling Uncensored Wrestlemania post show. Wake up. I'm Dave. This is my brother.
Hello, everyone. I'm Benjamin.
And, of course, the big house, Johnny North.
The champ.
We made it. We survived.
Yeah.
The British Commonwealth champion. Not NWA, technically NWA, but we...
To just Becky and Charlotte, it got a little bit more conventional.
Yep.
It got a little bit more like their sort of moves, the Exploder suplexes and the teasing of each other's finishers and stuff like that, more traditional stuff. Then Ronda got in there, and you could see Becky and Charlotte kind of react and go like, oh shit, let's start like punching each other in the stomach and like delivering high knees and like all sorts of more kind of volatile moves. Ronda commanded that.
They didn't feel like they were trying too hard, perhaps, because there's a lot of pressure on them that this is the first time women are main eventing, and they wanted to impress as best as they could. And I think hitting each other for real, that's fine, but I think that hurt in terms of the execution of a lot of the moves.
Maybe, it was sloppy at times, but I thought overall it was fun to watch. It felt like a fight, and sometimes fights are sloppy, UFC fights, not every punch lands clean, not every move works out exactly the way you want it. And with Ronda Rousey in there, she's not a clean, polished wrestler. It felt more like a traditional wrestling match when Becky and Charlotte were in there, but Ronda got involved in the match. It became something else, and that's the cool element of Ronda Rousey. That's part of why I love Ronda as a professional wrestler, because she's different. And, okay, her matches aren't going to be clean and traditional, but she is going to bring something to the table that's fun to watch, and you can't deny you were entertained by her main event tonight.
Oh, absolutely. She's fantastic. I love Ronda. I really hope she doesn't go away. She brings a lot to the business.
I could see it being where she's upset, where she felt she was screwed out of the championship and screwed at WrestleMania, and I think she's going to take her ball and go home pretty much on Raw.
Stone Cold routine.
Yeah.
Wow. So you think that's it for Ronda?
Well, I think, again, it's a storyline. Like, she's going to come back. She's still signed to, like, a 3-year deal, I think. So, it's just for now.
Interesting. I don't know. I think I want to see Ronda stick around, but I think you might be right. I think it's a real possibility that Ronda's going to step away for some time, and I think it's okay. She's shown up more than I've expected her to be around, right? She's wrestled so many people on Raw, on every pay-per-view. She's been on so much more than Brock Lesnar, that if she is going to step away now and not be around as much but still be a significant character, I'm willing to accept that.
I think
she just got pinned by Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, right? She just did the job clean. Clean-ish, right? I mean, her shoulder was up, and there's controversy now.
Corey Graves
so
made a comment about the shoulder at one point.
I think they did that completely intentionally to build that storyline. When she comes back, that she has something to fight for afterwards.
Yeah, it's very possible. It's possible that was planned. Sometimes we think there are botches, but they turn out to be planned, like that Billie Kay Phantom Tag. We thought she was kind of botching, like she got to her spot too early.
Right.
But it turns out it was actually like a articulated plan to get her to become the legal person in the match.
yeah.
It helped to make sense.
So maybe if they bring it up on Raw tomorrow or in future Raws has a controversial finish, then we know they're building to a storyline. Is it accidental that they're building the storyline? Maybe, but storyline nonetheless.
Well, now we can focus on Becky Lynch. Now she's the undisputed women's champion now, right? Now she's going to be on Raw and SmackDown defending both championships, or the championship now. So I think just with that, give other women a chance to go against Becky Lynch and change up the main event scene a little bit.
Yeah, she could have feuds with a lot of different women. She could have a feud with Nia Jax. She could feud with the Riot Squad. She could feud with Sasha and Bayley, who just dropped their titles. More 4 horsewomen kind of interaction there.
Yeah.
And they've been separated a lot, so it's pretty fresh. Bayley and Becky feud, I think, would be pretty good money.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to go in that direction. I don't know what they do with Becky right now. I think Becky and Charlotte probably is the most likely call. I'm seeing people on the chat having problems with buffering. I don't know what's going on with the stream or YouTube or something, the internet. I don't know what's going on, but it seems to resolve itself if you just refresh. But we're seeing some buffering issues on the video. I don't know what the deal is. So hopefully that gets resolved over the next little bit. I don't know. We're trying to fix it. We're on it, but it seems like if you just refresh it, everything fixes. I don't know. But people are having some goddamn problems with the buffering, so I don't know.
What are they saying about WrestleMania? Anything?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of comments about WrestleMania. You know, the comments are flowing. I mean, so many matches to cover, right?
Now, where do you start?
We got the main event, right? We thought it was pretty good. I mean, sloppy, but good.
Should we start with the beginning with Brock Lesnar?
Was that even the beginning? The pre-show was the beginning, right?
Yeah. I mean, Braun Strowman won. We all expected that. The SNL guys didn't really do anything, except be a subject of a really bad sexual assault joke at the literal hands of Skull Hall and Kevin Nash later on the show.
Which went nowhere, too. It was just a little glove thing.
Vince humor.
Yeah. Luke Harper was the surprise guy in the Battle Royal.
I guess so. I mean, he was making appearances at Access, but yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't really, whatever. That Battle Royal was kind of a nothing thing, you know. Braun Strowman won. I mean, there's so much that happened. I think most importantly, the big matches. I think we got to talk about what match of the night was, what the big matches were, and really the main results and the main moments. I think the main moment for me was Kofi Kingston. Despite the fact that it was so awesome seeing Becky Lynch on top beating Ronda Rousey, it was a cool way to finish WrestleMania. I thought their match was great, but I still think that for me, the Kofi Kingston Daniel Bryan match was match of the night, and that provided the greatest moment on the card.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it felt like we had many different endings to WrestleMania. I felt like we had many good happy endings with Seth, with Kofi Kingston, and then with Becky. To me, in terms of match quality, in terms of wrestling, like a great wrestling match, that was by far the best thing on the card.
Yeah, Kofi and Daniel Bryan was definitely the most resembling like an old school kind of main event WWE Championship match in the vein of like a Hart and Michaels, or trying to think of another classic technical match for the WWE Championship.
Well, I would think maybe even the Benoit, Michaels, Triple H. A lot of people think that was one of the best.
There were some car crashes, there were some table spots and a lot of blood, but
yeah, but that's your typical main event in a sense. We had that too in the main event now as well.
Nowadays.
Yeah. Sorry, man. We're just getting all these goddamn technical problems, and it's really distracting me. Trying to stick to the wrestling shit, but people can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
You got to speak up. You got to talk right into your mic. People can't hear you. The internet is buffering. We're having all sorts of goddamn problems. I know the internet is buffering, guys. Okay, I get it. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to get it better. I think it's getting better, as we're going on. It's regulating itself. Okay, we get it. I see that his mic is low. Okay, I get it. AJ's there just saying, "Oh, mic is low." So shut up, AJ.
AJ's there.
Of course AJ's there.
Of course.
Piss me off.
He's
AJ,
not here.
He didn't show up. He's supposed to be here, but he didn't show up, God damn.
And now he's got to, put the screws to you a little bit.
And now he's going to, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Well, in the end, when we look back at WrestleMania, I think that's the match you look back to is Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston. That's the match, in my opinion, historically, that's going to go down as one of the better WrestleMania matches, I think, of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, truly one of the great WrestleMania moments when they make highlight packages in the future. I mean, that's going to be one of them. That's going to be one of those moments now. And it's about time. I'm kind of upset that the Daniel Bryan run is over a little prematurely, maybe. Mm-hmm. But, I can't imagine. I mean, we were talking about during the event how long we've been saying how many times there should have been an African-American WWF, WWE champion. How many guys over the years, like Junkyard Dog, Mark Henry, Ahmed Johnson, or, all these guys, that, like, had big spots, but Booker T.
Bobby Lashley.
but never were able or given that opportunity. And it's about time. I'm glad that it's Kofi Kingston. He really deserves it. He put in 11 years of his time into this business. He was never always the top guy, but he always showed that he could put in the effort to put in a big match, and especially with this New Day, and give a whole new aspect to his charisma of his character. It's about time.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing to finally have Kofi Kingston on top as a WWE champion. I'm happy to see it, and it was a beautiful moment at the end of the match with Kofi there and the New Day and Kofi's kids. It was very cool. It was really nice to see Kofi get that. He deserves it. It's about time. I don't know what this means for Daniel Bryan, I don't know what this means for Bryan, but at least Kofi gets his spot, As for Daniel Bryan, we'll see. I feel like he had a great run as champion, and this whole Kofi Kingston thing kind of derailed it. It's disappointing in one way, because they brought the belt back, the leather strap. It's just not what I wanted to see for Daniel Bryan. I didn't want it to end this way. I think the run had a lot more in it than having it stop here. So I think it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate that Daniel Bryan had to give up that title. That Daniel Bryan's no longer WWE champion. On the one hand, I'm really happy for Kofi Kingston. I thought that moment was great, and it was one of the great WrestleMania moments. It was match of the night.
Yep.
But on the other hand, I feel for Daniel Bryan, and I wish he would still be WWE champion.
But you felt when this all started that this wasn't going to be the end. This was going to go on for several pay-per-views. So why can't it be that he just won it, he'll lose it back, and then it just keeps going? Because this wasn't supposed to happen originally, Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan. It just kind of happened organically. And now I think they're just running with it because they realize we have a moment. We got to capitalize on it. But then we can just go right back to what we were doing.
Well, can they?
Of course. He got his moment. He won the title. That's all you needed to do, right?
Well, I mean, you would expect Kofi to have some kind of run now. Or do you think Daniel Bryan maybe just takes it back from him soon? Like at the next pay-per-view at Money in the Bank?
Well, look at how many championships we have. I just feel titles change hands all the time anyways. So does Kofi really need a strong run? A lot of great champions, face champions, have short reigns. The Rock almost always lost the title right away. Cena, Triple H. This is why they had so many title reigns, because they kept losing all the time.
Not always Cena. Cena had a couple reigns where over a year.
Because that's 16 times. You have to change it up. But for most part, a lot of them, especially if they're a face champion, they don't last long. And we have so many champions now that it just kind of always happens.
Yeah. They do bounce them back and forth quite a bit. But I also think Kofi deserves a run, Like,
okay.
Kofi deserves something. It's tough, man. I would, I don't know. Maybe you move Daniel Bryan to Raw, give him the Universal Championship, remove Seth Rollins to SmackDown, and have Bryan take the title off him that way. Move Kofi to Raw, Kofi and the New Day.
It's interesting. Okay, yeah, sure. Well, remember, we said it before, like, if Kofi wins, it's not just Kofi's champion, the New Day's WWE champion too, right? Because it kind of felt like that when he won the championship. Because the new T-shirt, it's the New Day as WWE champion, no?
Yeah.
So I find that interesting. Is that going to happen? We're going to see Xavier and, like, Big E defend the championship?
I don't think so.
I doubt it too,
Do you
but
think that's what's going to happen?
I thought that's what the whole thing was. Remember when Kofi tried to win Money in the Bank? That was the thing. Like, if Kofi cashes in Money in the Bank, they're all Money in the Bank.
That is true.
We got a comment here from Sasha Lagarde. Will the New Day ever split up? Could this lead to a New Day split up?
Maybe Xavier blows it, like he's given the opportunity to defend the belt against someone, who's and then Big E says, "Oh, I could have beaten Baron Corbin," and that leads to some kind of split or something.
Yeah, I remember Baron Corbin won, so yeah, Baron Corbin is definitely in the title picture without question.
Baron Corbin. Woo.
Yeah.
He's coming.
Big win. Huge win.
Yeah, that was a big win. Baron Corbin beating Kurt Angle in Kurt Angle's last match. People were mad that Baron Corbin was even Angle's last opponent. People were doubly mad that he beat Kurt Angle.
Yeah, but it's to push the future because Baron Corbin's going to be there week in, week out. It makes sense. John Cena, he had his appearance. That's it. But he's not there week in, week out. You got to build the future. And Kurt knows that. And you lose out on your back. That's what you do in wrestling. And Kurt's a professional.
That's true. You're supposed to lose on your way out, and Kurt did lose on the way out, and I understand that. However, it's Baron Corbin that he lost to. You know, it's just disappointing that the WWE deemed Baron Corbin appropriate to be Kurt Angle's last opponent. Kurt Angle's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I don't think Kurt Angle deserved that. I think Kurt Angle deserves better.
It's like The Undertaker got retired by Wade Barrett.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a step down for Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle deserves way better than that, but hey, it is what it is. Maybe Baron Corbin will go on and have an amazing wrestling career and make everybody eat their words. I think he's going to need some new wrestling gear for that. Because the button-up shirt and the dress pants combo is not working for his ring gear. It's just not a good look. And I just don't see him as a top wrestler going forward. So, you know, prove me wrong, Baron Corbin, but most of the wrestling world agrees with me.
Well, they gave him something huge, right? Kurt's last match. He's got to make something with this.
They give him a lot of huge things. Like, you know, a lot of big pushes, a lot of screen time. Because Baron Corbin's one of those guys where they think if we give him all this exposure and all these accolades, people will think, oh, he must be good then.
Right.
You know, like a Randy or a Miz.
Exactly.
You know.
Completely, yes.
But, you know, they don't always make something out of it.
No, they don't. But Randy did. Randy's one of the top stars in WWE. And The Miz, as much as we don't like him, he's still a top star. And I think had one of the better matches on the show, too.
Randy and AJ was okay, but it was underwhelming, and it was probably AJ Styles' worst WrestleMania match.
I meant The Miz. Like,
oh, I thought you were talking about Randy.
It was okay.
Randy's match was not very good. The Miz's match with Shane was all right, but that's because, you know, as you would put it, there was a lot of salad dressing. You know, there was a lot of extras. There was Shane McMahon doing all sorts of crazy dives, and there was The Miz doing Miz and Shane finishing the match with that big suplex off the camera stand, and then they fall off into that big crash pad that was obviously, you know, a stunt pad, so it was probably a pretty easy fall for them. Nonetheless, they did the suplex. It was a high fall. They, you know, fell from a high up place. It was cool. It was cool. It was a cool finish. The replays looked really good on it. It was nice, you know? But the match itself was like, yeah, it was all right. Where do you rank it on the matches of WrestleMania? You know, like, if we're going to say that Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston was the best match of the night, which to me it was, what do you guys think? What was your match of the night? Was it Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston? Because to me, it's either that or the main event, Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte, which was incredible. I thought that match was really good. A lot of back and forth, a lot of violent action. Everybody looked banged up in that match. They took some vicious bumps. Like, Charlotte took a bump off the top. Becky hit her suplex off the top rope. Charlotte looked like she nearly landed on her head.
The cuts.
Same for Becky. When she got flipped off the top rope, she looked like she nearly landed on her head. Yep. Yeah, the cuts to Ronda's leg and to Charlotte. And Ronda was all cut up on her arm and her leg. Charlotte was cut up on her arm. Like, they went to war tonight. That was a tremendous, tremendous match. I like the Kofi Bryan match slightly better. So for me, the two best matches were, you know, the main event and then the WWE title match. I think Kofi Bryan was the match of the night. What did you guys think? What was your match of the night? Let's see here some of the comments. Where do we do that? Right here? Nope, that's not where we do it. Uh-oh.
We're back.
Uh-oh, we're back. Hold on. Here we go. Hey.
Something was a low point. Kurt losing.
JC says Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, hands down. Somebody wants AJ on the show tonight.
Blame AJ.
Somebody's still having problems with your mic. Apparently people can't hear you.
Now.
Try again.
Hello.
There you go.
Hello, everyone in Radio Land.
Yeah, I think your mic is a little bit low. There's something up with the mic itself. But just talk.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah, get right in there.
I'm in there.
Get right in there. Just dive into this sucker. You know what I mean? Just get right in there and just eat the microphone. Eat it all up, okay? That's how it's gonna work, okay?
All right. Deal with it. Batista style.
You guys hear him, right? You guys hear him?
Can you hear me now?
AJ says I have a new haircut and it looks good. I didn't get a new haircut. AJ, you saw me literally 2 days ago and I had the exact same hair. You're,
I think he's just trying to mess with you again.
He's just a strange guy. Here we see Tony Kaname Kuran says, I agree with you. Kofi was the best match of the night. It was a beautiful match. It was a beautiful moment. And I don't know. AJ's comments just throw me off. Like I see AJ and I'm like, oh god.
Just ignore him, man.
Yeah, I need to ignore AJ. I need to get rid of AJ's comments. I don't need to see any of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely Kofi Kingston, becoming
I thought,
the champion.
Yeah.
It was a historic moment. It's something that when they talk about those Wrestlemania moments, that is definitely going to be one of the big ones, especially like the last 10 years. I'm hard pressed, other than Bryan winning it at WrestleMania 30. Yeah, it was great. It wasn't great? Triple H's entrance. What the hell was that?
I don't know. They're saying the mic is off. I don't know how the mic could possibly be off. That's super weird. Shouldn't be off. Oh, you know what? Maybe it is off. Holy shit.
Hello?
Oh, you know what? I think your mic was off.
Oh.
Try again.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, my God. Now it's super loud.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry, guys. That was me. I'm an idiot. I had it on mute. Your mic was on mute.
That's what happens when we've been watching wrestling for 8 hours. Sometimes we forget the little things.
Ripping your brother and everybody online, too. Nice.
Well, I was mad. I couldn't figure it out because I saw the mic getting picked up, but I think it was getting picked up from, I'm seeing comments. People were saying, oh, it's getting picked up from Dave and Johnny's mic.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Whoever wrote that was correct. Very smart. Somebody said that. Well, who said that? JC says, sounds like the sound is getting picked up by Johnny and Dave's mic. That's exactly what was going on. Talk again.
All right. Now you can hear me.
Shit.
Yeah, that sounds a little more clear.
There you go.
Botchamania. That's all right.
Now you're going to hear my opinions, people, whether you like them or not. Welcome to the show. So Triple H's entrance, what a piece of shit.
Oh, it was pretty cool, though.
Oh, it was lame.
He's had better ones.
One car, and zombie Chris Jericho driving it.
Yeah, that was weird. The driver was weird.
And another no Stephanie.
I'm just embarrassed now because I'm so technically inept. How did I not see that?
It's late at night, brother.
God.
You did survive a marathon of wrestling.
It's been a long...
2 days in a row.
It's been a long night.
Yeah, 2 days, too. The
I
G1.
By the way, I'm seeing a lot of people on the chat right now. Where was everybody last night? I was here, okay? You were not even here. He was watching the G1 Supercard with me last night. He bailed, towards the end. He was getting sleepy. He had to work early in the morning. Johnny didn't even show up.
I was wrestling.
And then it was just me. It was just me at the G1 Supercard here. There's a show up. I recapped it last night. Hopefully, most of you watched it. I
haven't yet.
It was better than WrestleMania.
I'm not surprised by that.
It was better than WrestleMania.
It's pretty good.
Night, yeah, well, you didn't see the end. The Okada Jay White match was incredible. It was better than any match that we saw tonight at Mania. But I will say that the Kofi Kingston moment, him winning the title and then celebrating with New Day and the emotion, that was the greatest moment of the weekend. That was beautiful. And like you said earlier, but your mic wasn't quite on, so people, I don't think, quite heard you.
Okay,
Kofi being the first African American champion. It's a big deal. It means a lot. It's about time. Finally, they did it, and I'm really happy that they did.
Greatest moment, the Bret Hart being attacked at the Hall of Fame. It's not
the greatest.
That was
moment.
a terrible moment. And I addressed that last night.
But that, to me, that's the most talked about thing, and we'll be talking about that for a long time. I think
that's a different thing.
It is different, but that was a moment that stands out in my opinion.
Yeah, but Enzo and Cass jumping the barricade at the Ring of Honor New Japan show at the Madison Square Garden last night. That was a hell of a moment too. That was pretty crazy.
There were some crazy moments, but I guess tonight was, in my opinion, yeah, definitely Kofi winning. I think that was the greatest pop of the night. Nothing got any bigger than that. Becky's win was a decent pop, but I think people want to see Kofi win more.
Yeah, I think that people expected Becky to win more than they expected Kofi to win.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And I did. I definitely did. I thought Becky was going to win. I felt like there was no doubt at all. And I wasn't sure that Kofi was going to win. I thought Daniel Bryan was going to win.
My only conflict with the match was that I just found there wasn't enough false finishes. I felt like there was a decent build towards when he finally hits the Trouble in Paradise, but there wasn't enough back and forth at the end. It just charge up the finish. It's not bad. It's just it felt like there could have been a bit more back and forth. No, I'm talking to you guys.
No,
they can listen.
You're looking at yourself. I see what you're doing.
I like looking at myself.
You're always looking at yourself. I keep telling you, look at the camera, face the people.
The camera's there. I'm looking at you.
No, you're looking at yourself. I see because there's a monitor here.
Your profile.
Yeah, my biceps are sticking out there too.
You guys can't see it. There's a monitor here, and Johnny North, he just stands here and he just looks at the monitor while he's talking. And I keep telling him, look at the camera, John. The camera's right there. The people want to see you looking directly at them. You could just...
I'm talking to you guys, and I like to look at myself at the same time, too.
Well, I can hear you. I'm just saying. I'm trying to direct you, all right? I'm trying to direct traffic here. There's a lot going on, goddammit.
But to your point, John, about the false finishes, sometimes, though, in, WWE Championship matches and, these really important matches, sometimes it's just, the old-fashioned kind of charge up and the finish. There's no interruptions. There's no quick swerves. Like a Shawn Michaels, sometimes in a big match, he'll tune up the band and connect with sweet chin music, and that's it. There's no, someone grabs his leg, twirls it around, then he super kicks them. Sometimes it's just straightforward. It's to really mean something. Like when I remember when Daniel Bryan beat John Cena at SummerSlam. Cena was down, and then Bryan just kind of went to the corner, did the yes,
right,
and then connected with the knee, and then that was it. And Cena went down for the 3. It was, and then
yeah, but I also feel it's John Cena, and it's you don't want to do a lot of back and forth with John Cena because it's going to be kind of simple. He can't do a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, but also a clear, decisive victory really means something.
Well, it helped Kofi a lot too. It's wow.
It really means something. He just he charged up his Trouble in Paradise, hit it on Bryan, and Bryan went down. That's how he defeated the champion. It's, I don't know.
Right. Well, no, there's no problem with that. It's fine. I just feel. It could have been a little bit more back and forth. Just a little bit more.
The finish was abrupt. It did end a little bit faster than I expected it to end. When he hit him with the kick and then he just went down, I guess Kofi did. There was one false finish where you thought it was over. You're talking about lack of false finishes. There was one amazing false finish where Bryan hits the running knee. Mm-hmm. Kofi goes down, 1-2, boom, kicks out.
That's pretty good.
And I thought it was over. You thought it might have been over.
Could have been.
That was a good false finish. And you don't need to have a million different false finishes. And we had, one of those matches had a couple of them, right?
Well, the main event
The main event, and that's kind of where you want it. That's where you need it.
But that was more messy, though, the main event, where this was more structured, and I think you could have done a bit more back and forth. These guys have wrestled each other so many times, I'm sure they could have pulled out some more back and forth.
Well, all the more reason to see them wrestle again at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, well, this is WrestleMania.
I want to see the rematch. Don't you want to see the rematch?
Well,
I want to see them go. I want to see them go again. I thought their match was so good tonight. Match of the night at WrestleMania. Stole the show.
Right.
I want to see them do it again next pay-per-view.
Well, let's see where they land, though. Are they going to be on the same show? Because
that's the kind of the question.
Doesn't necessarily matter. You could book the match this week or next, and have it for Money in the Bank.
You could,
even if they're on different shows. You could change.
You could, yeah. They did that before.
Yeah.
Of course, you can always do that. But I like the idea of Daniel Bryan going after Seth Rollins. That sounds very intriguing. I think they should do that.
It's not bad. But I'd like Bryan to take that title from Rollins pretty quick. Rollins and Brock opening the show, that was pretty surprising. That was a very surprising move by the WWE. Paul Heyman comes out after Hulk Hogan botched. He made a joke about a previous botch. Hulk Hogan comes out, introduced by Alexa Bliss. He goes, "Hey, brothers, welcome to the Silver Dome," right?
Right.
And it was a joke because a few years ago he came out and he was supposed to say Superdome, but he said Silver Dome. And then he goes, no, brothers, I know where I am. I'm at the MetLife Center. And everybody's like, what? It's the MetLife Stadium, not the MetLife Center. So Hogan made a joke about him botching the arena, followed by him botching the name of the stadium that they were currently at.
Missed you, Hulkster.
It was great. Great stuff from Hogan.
It's Coleman Mania.
So then Paul Heyman comes out and he says, hey, if Brock's not going to be on last, we're going to get our business done real quick here. And Brock's going to be on a plane where he's ultimately appreciated to Las Vegas, talking about the UFC, you know. So Brock's probably on his way to the UFC because Seth Rollins winds up beating him in a match that only lasted 2.5 minutes. There was a lot of stuff before the match actually got going, so I don't know how long it really lasted. But bell to bell, it was just 2.5 minutes with Seth Rollins. A referee fell down, and then Seth was able to hit a low blow on Brock and then hit 3 of his stomps to Brock's head, followed by the pinfall to become the new Universal Champion.
Lazy. Very lazy.
Very lazy match from Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah.
You could tell he phoned it in, completely checked out, and good riddance to Brock Lesnar. You know, if that's what he's going to give, that's the performance that he's willing to give to the WWE. I don't really want to see him in the WWE. So I say, you know, goodbye, Brock. It's been fun sometimes. Good luck against Daniel Cormier. You're going to need it.
Yeah, he'll make a lot of money.
You'll make a lot of money. You'll take a vicious beating.
You'll go back to Saskatchewan.
Yeah, go back and hunt and say hi to Sable for me, you know?
Yeah, but he can always come back to WWE. I'm sure the door's open when he wants.
Sure, come back to the WWE whenever you want to not be champion anymore. You know? Like, I think the days of Brock Lesnar showing up every once in a while as a champion, I hope those days are over. I really do. I've had enough.
Oh, we need a legitimate contend champion for FS1 on Fridays, pal.
No, not Brock. No more Brock. You know, that was a bad performance from Brock tonight.
No,
He did nothing.
His worst.
I've seen worse, actually. I thought the Roman Reigns at SummerSlam was much worse.
I thought the Dean Ambrose match a couple years ago at Mania was worse than this.
And it was longer, too.
But this was not good.
Well, this was bad, but this is Brock Lesnar. Just, you know, gets the paycheck, that's it, throws the belt at Vince, and see you later. This time he doesn't have to throw the belt, but get out there early and leave. That was actually really smart of him, actually, that they pull that off. Doesn't have to sit there for 5-6 hours. It's good.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him, exactly.
Good for him. Whatever.
Well, good for us, too. He's gone. So
Get out of here.
He's gone, yeah.
Get out of here. Who needs you?
Time to move on.
It's time to move on. I've had enough of Brock Lesnar. So Seth Rollins is the new champion, and, like, who knows what happens next, you know? It's hard to predict what happens next because I don't think they really know.
No.
I think a lot of it is in limbo. Now they have to figure out what they're going to do tomorrow night and Tuesday night, and then next week they're going to be here in Montreal for Raw and SmackDown, and they've already announced that they're doing a superstar shakeup. So they're going to shake up both brands. The titles could move from one brand to another. It's impossible to predict where everybody goes from here. This was the season finale, and now we start the new season, and we'll see where they go. I think they probably have a few ideas. I mean, obviously they want to start the season with Seth Rollins as a major player and Kofi Kingston as well. Roman Reigns got his victory over Drew McIntyre tonight, hit a little boom boom, and then the hoorah, and then the spear, and a 1, 2, 3, and it was over for Drew McIntyre.
So a typical Roman Reigns match.
Yeah,
much what it was,
but it sets him up as a major player, you know, a title contender. Drew McIntyre was on a hell of a run, and Roman Reigns put a stop to that.
Yeah, but they can still build up Drew because you have face champions, so you need top heels. Regardless, AJ Styles lost at WrestleMania and went right into the WWE title picture. So it doesn't really matter you took a loss like that. You still wrestled Roman Reigns, went back and forward with him. That's still a great performance in a sense.
Sure. I mean, I could see him challenging Seth Rollins next for the Universal title, but I do not want to see that.
Nope.
I'd rather see Roman challenge Seth. It's a more interesting story.
Well, what happens with him is going to be interesting because there's no more Dean Ambrose now. So what happens with Roman? What's he going to do? You need someone to feud with. And what show is he going to be on? Is he going to be with Seth? I say separate him and Seth because to me that's WrestleMania next year.
Well, if you're going to separate him and Seth, what are you going to do? Have him feud with Kofi Kingston for the WWE title? I don't think so. That's not going to work. You want to get Roman over as a babyface? Having him feud with Kofi is not the way to do it.
No, a guy like Samoa Joe would be great, I think.
He's already done that, though, and it wasn't great.
He has.
You're just Joe.
Yeah, but they can do it again for the U.S. title. This is the Roman rebuild.
Didn't they feud for the U.S. title when Roman was like U.S. champion for like a bit?
I can't remember.
They feuded last year. They wrestled at Backlash.
Wasn't it for the Universal?
No, it was just straight up one-on-one grudge match. That's how they built it. It was the main event of Backlash last year.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But that was it because they were both going different shows. So that's all we really got. So there's unfinished business in a sense.
I guess they could go there.
They could, or just Roman and Randy. I think that could always work.
Oh, the
That's always
R&R
fun.
Express.
Yeah.
That's always fun. They could do that. They could definitely do that. Why not? Why not go for Roman and Randy next?
How about
Yeah.
new women's or
What?
WWE Tag Champions, the Iconics?
What about them?
You know, that was a title.
You
change
want
from
them
tonight.
to feud with Roman Reigns?
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense.
I think Peyton Royce is a better worker.
That was a surprise, though, right? The Iconics becoming the new WWE Tag Team Champions. People call them the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, but I don't think that there's any reason for that. There's nobody called the WWE Tag Team Champions right now. You've got the Raw Tag Team Champions, who are Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, who somehow got a shot and won it in their hometown, which was pretty cool for them. They beat the Revival. And then you have these SmackDown Tag Team Champions, which are still the Usos, the Uso brothers, Jimmy and Jay. They beat Aleister Black and Ricochet, Rusev and Shinsuke, and The Bar in a Fatal 4-Way. That match was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
So we have SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Raw Tag Team Champions, and now the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Iconics, winning tonight in a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, and a match that just went under 11 minutes. Beating Nia and Tamina, Beth and Natty, and Bayley and Sasha. I thought Beth and Natty's entrance was very cool. They came out in, matching Hart Foundation type gear. Bret Hart was there, and they had a little ovation for Bret Hart, and he gave them a little talk before they went down to the ring, especially everything that happened yesterday at the Hall of Fame. Bret getting jumped by some jerk. I thought it was very cool to see Bret Hart at WrestleMania have that little moment with Natty and Beth. Unfortunately, they didn't win the tag team titles, but the Iconics did. Billy and Peyton, and they've been friends since they were in high school, I think, something. They've been friends for a really long time. They grew up together in Australia. They've had their whole wrestling journey together. They are a real tag team, and they were able to challenge for the belts at WrestleMania and win, and you could tell there was real emotion there. They were both in tears. That was a nice moment for them because I know their journey. It's been a long journey to get there. It's something that they've wanted, and this was their goal before it even existed. They wanted to be the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions before the WWE even had these titles. This was something that they dreamed of, and this was a dream come true for them. So it's cool in wrestling when so much is predetermined and so many of the emotions are written for them, when you see some real emotion. We saw some real emotion tonight when the Iconics won the tag team titles, when Kofi Kingston won the WWE title, when Becky Lynch won the main event there at the end. Even Charlotte Flair, after the match, you saw her in tears. There's real emotion there.
Laughing, too.
Was she?
She was kind of crying and then going like this at the same time.
Send for the man.
I don't know what's going on there, but definitely with the Iconics, there was real emotion, and with Kofi, it's nice to see
Xavier
that.
Xavier was crying too.
Yeah,
pretty hard. It was great.
This stuff means a lot to them. This is WrestleMania. This is
These are their lives.
82,000 people. This is your life. This is your life is made off a night like this. Your career is made off a night like this, and the Iconics will have this forever. Ryder and Hawkins will have this forever. Kofi Kingston will have this moment with his kids and with his brothers in the New Day forever. It's a beautiful thing. It makes you proud to be a wrestling fan. Nights like this, when the WWE does compensate some of these people, does reward some of these people that deserve it, it's good to see. These people are well deserving of the spots that they got tonight at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan deserved to walk into WrestleMania as WWE champion, a year removed from his comeback after 4 years out where you thought he was retired. Daniel Bryan spends an entire year, and, you know, this guy was a babyface. How could you get anybody to boo Daniel Bryan? If you would have told me a year ago that the whole arena would be booing Daniel Bryan a year after his big return, I would have said you're crazy, but it happened tonight. Daniel Bryan, a full-fledged heel, and he managed to walk into WrestleMania as a WWE champion and have a match that stole the show. Kofi Kingston has been working for 11 years to get to this point. He became WWE champion in the match that stole the show. Becky Lynch has been working her whole life to get to this point. Some real emotion going on tonight. It was nice to see.
Well, I question steal the show. It's a WWE Championship match. It should be the best match on the show, no? I mean, not usually is, but it should be. Because you are like the top wrestlers in the company if you're fighting for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Traditionally.
Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton. That was a great
Traditionally.
WWE Championship match.
Traditionally.
So,
Well, in the end, like, I thought the 4-way tags, it was just too much of a mess, though, I found. Both matches. Like, they put the effort was there, but it's just there's too much going on.
right.
And it's hard to get really invested when it's just a car crash pretty much from start to finish.
Yeah, it wasn't the best match on the card, but it was a cool moment for the Iconics. I mean, there were some moments, right? Like, that match didn't need to be the best match on the card, but it provided some good moments for a lot of the participants in there. You know, Bayley and Sasha got to walk in with the title belts. The Iconics got to win. Natty and Beth got to team together one last time, and Brett got to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
Nia and Tamina were there.
Yeah, that's it.
Rock's mom in the audience.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
You know?
Well, I think it's bad when you're just saying, like, well, they came out, the entrance, it was cool, it was great moments. You're not talking about any of the wrestling, though. So that's what kind of concerns me. There was nothing in the match that stood out, and that's a problem.
But did you not listen to Kurt Angle's Hall of Fame speech last year? He says it's about creating moments. That's what people remember. People remember the moments. They don't necessarily remember move for move or specific matches, even though they do. You know, we do remember matches because some matches become, you know, but you remember the matches because of the moments in those matches.
Well, unfortunately, with that 4-way tag, like, I'll just remember, like, yeah, this happened, and they won, and it was cool. Brett was there. That's pretty much it.
Beth do like a top rope, like glam slam or second rope
She did.
She did a top rope glam slam for the finish.
onto Bayley.
Onto Bayley, and
the
then
tag.
and then the Iconics pushed
Oh,
Beth,
yeah, that's the Phantom
pushed
tag.
Beth out of the ring, and Billie Kay got the pinfall on Bayley to
Lillian
win.
Kay.
Yeah. I didn't feel much for Shane McMahon and The Miz. I didn't feel a lot of emotion there.
I disagree with the dad when he went after his dad like that, and the dad got in the ring. I thought that was great storytelling.
I
Great
thought
story.
funny.
I thought it was ridiculous.
I thought it was very enjoyable. I enjoy. To me, that's the third best match on the card, without question.
I don't believe that Miz is mad that Shane's attacking his dad. I believe that Miz and his dad are both happy that he's part of the show. That was the impression I got the whole time. I never felt like Miz was really mad. Miz was just happy that his dad got to be part of the match. It's all a big promotion for his reality show that his dad, I assume, is a big part of, although I don't watch the show.
I still enjoyed Shane attacking his dad, putting his dad down, his dad no-selling, just being dead like a dog.
I like that Shane has been burying Miz, beating up Miz's dad, beat up Miz's dad in the match, took a suplex, and still won.
Yeah, I love they still won.
McMahon, you know?
And he was beating Miz up pretty good in the match.
He took a good beating, though, Shane.
Yes, he did.
When he fell off that cart, that looked scary.
Oh, yeah. When
Yeah.
he fell off that thing, and then he fell off the golf cart, and
His
then
leg.
he fell onto the floor, that was filthy.
I went through that table, too, like, on the stairs. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's like kind of like there's like steps. Yeah.
Yeah, Shane,
the-
that was rough for Shane.
Shane
Like,
took a vicious
Foreign,
beating.
Commentary,
He deserved to win. He put his body on the line more than the Miz did.
as always.
I thought
Wow.
Miz did good, like, in terms of selling, though. In terms of being mad and angry. I know you didn't believe in it, but I like that he tried, though. Because we never really see that kind of side of the Miz. It's usually like coward Miz. But to Miz, to stand up to somebody like that was different.
I guess.
You just don't believe in it. That's the problem. I understand that.
Actor.
He's not great, but I like that he's trying something different.
He didn't look like someone who's like worried about their father's safety. It's more someone like, this is how I think I should be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna punch you and I'm gonna be so crazy and I can't control myself. I'm gonna do this a lot.
But he did give Shane a beating though.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but he's not believable in that role.
Should try to kill him.
I don't buy it.
He's not likable is the problem.
That's another big problem.
That is another big problem. He's more annoying than anything, right?
Really punchable face.
Okay, elsewhere on this card, let's take a look at this thing.
What about Mia?
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about Triple H? Okay, we can't have two Triple H's on this show. So, Triple H beat Batista in a no-holds-barred match that was 25 minutes, and just so we're clear, it was the longest match on the card.
Triple H match, of course, is the longest match on the card.
You were right, John. Triple H is going to hog the spotlight.
It was very long, too.
They took up more time than anybody. Becky Lynch and Ronda went 21 and a half minutes. Triple H and Batista went 24:45. Kofi and Bryan went a minute less than them, 23:45.
Didn't feel like it, though.
No, and neither did the women's match. That Triple H Batista match felt like it went on forever. The best part was the entrance when Batista tripped and fell into the ring. Batista looked like he hit his head on the car that he came out of.
When Triple H dived on him and it looked like he hit his head on the ring apron too.
Yeah. That match was a mess. Just sloppy. Two guys in their late 40s, almost 50.
Yeah.
Is Triple H? Triple H isn't 50.
I think he's like 50, 51.
I thought he was like 49.
No, I don't think Triple H. Yeah, he's 49.
Okay.
He'll be 50 in July, and Batista is 50.
Just turned.
Batista just turned 50. So you have a 49 and a 50-year-old combined age of 99 in that match. I mean, there are 6-man tags that aren't that old combined, right?
It's going to be a rough morning, I think, for both guys when they wake up.
Oh, yeah. It was rough on both of them. It was, I mean, they went through a couple of tables.
Tables, or tried to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was.
They went through at the end, Triple H with the spear, I think. He ran across the tables and really put his momentum into it.
Yeah, Triple H hit a spear. A lot of spears tonight. We talked about that. It was like the move of the night. Everybody hit a spear. Triple H, Charlotte, Roman. Who else?
Kurt Hawkins. Bobby Lashley.
Like
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. Well, there was like a spear in every match.
Almost, yeah.
It was weird. Triple H hit the big spear on Batista to put him through a table. It just looked rough on both of them. It wasn't a very good match. It dragged. It was cool to see Ric Flair there at the end, tying a bow on this whole storyline. Batista was the one who took him out. Triple H wanted revenge, so they have this match. And now Ric Flair's there to hand Triple H the sledgehammer that he can hit Batista with, followed by the pedigree. And then Triple H wins and celebrates with Ric Flair, who seemed like completely out of breath. Like, it looked like he was helping Triple H to the back, and then it seemed to turn at one point where Triple H was helping Ric Flair to the back. I don't know, man. Maybe keep Ric Flair away from the wrestling ring. Maybe it's too much for him. He seemed like, whoa, that was a lot. He seemed out of breath. It was tough. It was tough for Nate. He's been through a lot, but I think it was still great. I'm sure he enjoyed it, and I like seeing him. I like seeing Ric Flair at ringside at WrestleMania. It's nice to see.
I felt he also guided him with the second sledgehammer. That's why the second sledgehammer came out early, because I think he made sure that Rick wouldn't have to look for it. It's right there, easy to see. But that also spoiled it. It's like, why is there two sledgehammers?
That's a good point.
But that's it. They realize Flair, there's problems with Flair. It's not easy for him right now. Just walking, it seems like, is a problem for Ric Flair.
One thing I got to say about that match, though, it didn't give me what I wanted.
Yeah, I didn't get what I wanted. JC asking us the thoughts on the nose ring extraction.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think it looked very real. There would have been way more blood had they actually done that. You could tell that, the ring that Triple H had wasn't the ring that was in Batista's nose, and Batista covered his face for a while and, went belly down and rolled out of the ring, and you could tell that he was just pulling the ring out of his nose. I thought the idea was good with the pliers to pull the nose ring out of Batista's nose, but I didn't think the execution really pulled it off.
Or the fingers.
No, yeah, the finger thing was kind of weird too with the wrench or whatever he had there. It didn't quite work. You know, a lot of it didn't quite work. I think Randy Orton when he wrestled Jeff Hardy and started doing the the thing in the ear, that was way better than what Triple H did tonight.
That was gross.
Way better.
But I think that's because Jeff is like really crazy, and I don't think Batista wanted to do anything like that. They want to put like a hole right through his nose or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, what they were trying to pull off, had it been real, there would have been way more blood, and it would have been more impactful. But I don't think it really had much of an impact. Not for me, anyways. I don't think that match really worked.
A bit of a mess, but I wasn't expecting a lot from this match. It's too bad it was kind of too long, and for what it was, it didn't need to be that. It could have been shorter, but
it should have been shorter.
Oh yeah,
they could have packed what they had in there in a shorter amount of time. But it got, Batista his last match probably, right? He's 50 years old. He's doing movies. I doubt he's going to keep wrestling after this.
Promoted a movie in the process, and it got Triple H another match, and it got Triple H a victory finally over Batista. Yeah, that's good for him. Good moment.
That's really all you got here. You got couple of things accomplished for Triple H, a big elaborate entrance for both men.
I would have rather the Undertaker, but
no Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Disappointing. Yeah. At least like I mentioned, like John Cena at least showed up.
Cena showed up, did a little rap thing with Elias, which wasn't great, but at least Cena showed up, and then he gave him the FU, 5-knuckle shuffle FU, and that's it. It was cool to see John Cena there. It was cool to see Hulk Hogan. It would have been cool to see The Undertaker, but I guess there was nothing for him, or they decided against it. I don't know.
It's too bad. To me, it's not WrestleMania without The Undertaker. It feels weird. He's been at WrestleMania, it feels like every year.
Yeah.
Why is he not here?
I agree.
Just something, anything.
It was disappointing that he wasn't there. Yeah.
No Kevin Owens, too?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Kevin Nash and no Kevin Owens. You believe that?
Scott Hall, too.
Yeah, for some reason. Yeah, that was not good. I was not happy with that. The lack of Kevin Owens.
Not even the Battle Royal.
But, blame Kofi Kingston.
Blame Kofi Kingston.
Well,
what was up with that Samoa Joe Rey Mysterio? Like, you couldn't change that? I mean, that was nothing.
Yeah. If Rey is too hurt to actually have a match, his ankle's too hurt, and they have that match that was barely anything, Joe just choked him out in about, 1 minute exactly, 60-second match. It wasn't a match. You could have put Kevin Owens in there instead, have him wrestle Samoa Joe. They could have done 10 minutes and had a kick-ass match.
Even 5 minutes. Like, it would have been something more enjoyable. Like, that was disgraceful.
My guess is that maybe it was something they promised Rey. As a condition of him coming back, give him a Mania match.
Maybe. Or maybe Rey was like, no, I really want this match. I don't know what the deal is, but there was not much of a match there.
What happened to Dominic? Wasn't he supposed to be in the corner? Like
cut for time.
I think
card subject to change.
I honestly think they were cut for time, and Rey was hurt. It was a combination of things, and whatever storyline or match that they have planned, they're going to do it the next pay-per-view. We're just going to wait.
Just very disappointed with that.
Yeah, but
completely.
Eventually, we'll get the match we wanted.
I guess
not tonight. Yeah, that happens at Mania.
Well, I think they could have changed it and made it better. Give it to Kevin Owens instead. You changed the Kofi Kingston thing and gave him the main event shot at
But then it's a longer match.
It was really that bad? Like, we ended before 12:30.
8 minutes before 12:30, John.
You couldn't give 8 minutes to Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe?
Maybe. You only gave 4 minutes to Finn Balor and Bobby Lashley. That was a pretty short match. I think the Demon entrance was longer than the match itself.
4 minutes? I'm surprised. It actually felt pretty short, but... Well, actually, no, wait. Bobby got some offense, so...
He got some offense, but it was mostly Finn.
More than I expected. I thought just complete squash. That was more of like an elaborate squash.
That's what we said it was going to be, though. Elaborate squash in under 5 minutes. That's pretty much what we predicted on Wrestling Uncensored, right?
Yeah. I listened.
I didn't expect Bobby to get his finish in. He got his finish in and everything, and he still kicked out. I didn't expect that much.
Nice power bomb from Finn. And then he really went across the ring for that coup de grace double stomp from the top rope. He really flew. That was awesome.
I like that it felt like there was actually a difference when he's the demon. It actually seems like he's more powerful. I feel like in past times, it's always like, oh, he's just dressed up as a demon, but he's still Finn Balor. This time it felt like because he's the demon, he's more powerful and he can do a powerbomb to Bobby Lashley. It's great that there's actually a difference between the two characters because before it was like, well, there's nothing.
I think it could be a good distinction.
Well, I
between the two.
I think they just
Depends
realized
if they stick to it.
They just realized, oh, we have something here. Let's do something with it because we don't ever do anything with
Makes
it.
him more of like a superhero kind of character.
Are we going to see him more often?
I don't think so.
We haven't seen him in like years.
The Demon Finn, wasn't he at SummerSlam? Didn't he squash
It's been like
Baron
2 years.
Corbin?
2 years at TLC. He wrestled the AJ Styles
as the Demon?
as the demon. That was it.
I thought he showed up at SummerSlam.
And he lost, right?
No, he won.
Oh, he won.
He hasn't lost on the main roster as a demon.
Okay.
Didn't he wrestle Baron Corbin at SummerSlam as a Demon?
That was maybe that same year they wrestled AJ, but it wasn't this year. And if he did wrestle Baron Corbin, like it was just regular then.
I thought it was like a real like super squash, like he coup de grace him. I don't know, maybe I'm forgetting.
He very much could have, but I don't think it was the demon then.
Maybe not.
I hope we see the demon more often because when he's not the demon, it's like, well, I guess this match doesn't mean anything to him. Who cares?
Like the Brock Lesnar one.
Yeah.
Well, that was weird. That was just odd placement. But they gave us a match we wanted to see, right? Different Brock match. I'm actually happy we got that instead of Braun, so no problems there.
So Baron Corbin beats Kurt Angle. Finn Balor becomes a new Intercontinental Champion. Elsewhere tonight at WrestleMania, what else do we have here? AJ Styles beating Randy Orton in 16 minutes, 20 seconds. I thought that match was good. Maybe not as good as I wanted it to be. I expected a little bit more out of it. And when I think about the best matches and the most memorable matches of WrestleMania 35, I don't think that one will be up there. Unfortunate because, you know, the build for this match was pretty good and you're dealing with two top talents. I don't think the match was particularly great. Maybe that had something to do with Lazy Randy. Can't blame AJ Styles. I mean, you know, he's a really good wrestler. If you're going to blame somebody, why not Randy? John, your rebuttal? Team Randy over there?
Well, you said it wasn't a bad match, right? You said it was good.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Passable.
It wasn't...
He had a lot of the same spots, you know, like the Randy back suplex on the barricade.
Right, he hits
It
his
didn't feel
signature
His
moves.
top rope superplex. It's the stuff he brings out during those big matches, but he's brought them out year after year after year.
The superplex was good.
It felt like
good.
it felt like a
not
SmackDown.
new.
It felt like a SmackDown main event that Randy was trying to impress in.
I thought there was a good back and forth for the finish. Randy hit the RKO. He kicked out AJ. He hit the forearm on the outside. He dodged the RKO like 2 or 3 times. I thought it was all right. It's early in the card. There's bigger matches. They can't exactly steal the show, but at least put a good effort in there. To me, it felt like a good opening match. Though it wasn't the opening match. It was Brock, but still,
Yeah.
It felt like this was originally what was supposed to be the opening match.
It was the second match on the main card.
I thought it was all right. It's just, yeah, it didn't wow, it didn't amaze, it didn't steal the show, but not every match is going to do that.
Yeah, and this one didn't. This one did not.
It happens.
Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy had a good match in the real opener on the pre-show. Tony Nese winds up beating Buddy Murphy for the Cruiserweight title. Carmella then won the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. It was a 10-minute Battle Royal. She eliminates Sarah Logan in the end, so, you know, good for Carmella. I like Carmella. I think she's real talented. She had a 3-way with... was it a 3-way or a 4-way? I think it was a triple threat with Becky and Charlotte on SmackDown a few weeks ago. That was excellent.
Very good.
And Carmella, you know, she's been really good as a heel, really good as a babyface with R-Truth. She's a good wrestler. People don't give her enough credit, but I think she deserves it. And obviously the WWE agrees, and they gave her a nice little spot at WrestleMania. She's not going to be in the main event. There's really not much going on for her, but hey, she won the Women's Battle Royal. I like Carmella. You know, people are mad at her because of the Corey Graves thing, but I think what people do in their personal time is their own personal business, and I'm not really going to Judge Carmella. You know, a lot of people are like, I was saying, oh, good for Carmella. I'm happy for her, and I'm getting comments on Twitter at Dave Simon MMA. By the way, hang on, I'll tell you how to do that. Where are my? People are mad at Carmella, right? People are saying,
I guess so. I mean, I haven't heard anything too new about it. I thought it kind of blew over, but maybe not. I'm not on Twitter. People
yeah, I don't know. I
still
was saying good for Carmella, and people were saying, oh, homewrecker Carmella. I don't like Carmella. I was like, oh, whoa. All right. But anyways.
People are quick to judge.
I like Carmella. And I was happy that she won. I think she's a talented performer when I see her in wrestling. What she does outside of wrestling doesn't really bother me because I don't know her outside of wrestling. All I know from Carmella is what I watch on SmackDown, and I like what I see. So I don't care if you're a jackass outside of wrestling, as long as you're not doing anything to hurt anybody intentionally. You know, go Carmella.
Well, I think
Corey Graves, I think, is just kind of a. I don't like Corey Graves because I don't like his performances, you know.
Okay.
And I don't like what he says on Twitter to CM Punk and different things like that. But Carmella, I have no beef with.
Well, I think the problem is, like, you have one side of the story. You have his ex-wife or his current wife that he's having problems with. You have her side of the story, right? That everyone's, like, kind of on her side.
No, I'm not judging Corey Graves because of that at all.
Well, I think it's with Carmella.
But that's what people are saying. Yeah,
right.
That's what people have a problem for some reason. I don't know.
Well, that's the problem. Like, you don't know the whole story.
That's right.
That's the thing.
People judge for no reason. Anyways, I was happy for Carmella. She's been through a lot this year, right? It's nice for her.
She had two moments when you think
about it. It's nice for her to have the WrestleMania moment. Oh, yeah, she had a dance break for some reason with R-Truth.
Well, that's good. It just shows you that they care about that and they want to keep that going. Even though, like, they didn't really do much at WrestleMania, at least they got that moment that they're important. Lacey Evans comes out, does nothing, but she got a moment.
Still does nothing.
Still does nothing. Doesn't even be in the Battle Royal, but, you know, she's important because she's on WrestleMania. Kevin Owens can't be on WrestleMania, but Lacey Evans can be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's really disappointing that Kevin Owens wasn't on WrestleMania. But I think Kevin Owens was supposed to be Daniel Bryan's opponent, but Kofi Kingston got red hot, and the WWE decided to go in a different direction. Kofi Kingston was booked to wrestle Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. That was supposed to be it. But then they decided, okay, I think we have to go with Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston for WrestleMania. Instead, they pulled Kofi from the match. They brought back Kevin Owens for no reason in particular. You know, he'd been injured for a while. They bring him back. Vince McMahon brings him back, but Kevin Owens is supposed to be a babyface going up against Daniel Bryan, even though Vince brought him back to replace Kofi Kingston, so everybody hates him off the bat. They did him no favors by bringing him back and wrestling him at Fastlane. They should have kept him on the shelf and just given Daniel Bryan Mustafa Ali at Fastlane. Mustafa Ali wound up being in that match, made it a triple threat. You should have just kept Kevin Owens until Raw tomorrow night. If you're not going to have him at WrestleMania, I would have kept him on the shelf waiting until either Raw or Raw next week when it's in his hometown of Montreal. They've completely wasted all these months away, a big return to do something with one of their top guys, and now they've left him off WrestleMania. It's a shame, but it's just the WWE's lack of foresight that has brought us to this point. They didn't realize that they had to go with Kofi Kingston. They should have realized that way earlier, but they made the decision too late when they'd already booked Fastlane, and it screwed Kevin Owens over because the WWE, they didn't know what they were doing 6 weeks ago. They didn't know that Kofi was going to be winning the championship 6 weeks ago. They didn't think they were going in that direction. And Kevin Owens has suffered because of it. And that's why he wasn't on the show tonight.
I just think it's disgraceful that you can't find another spot for him somewhere. Out of all the talent that wrestled, top talent in WWE, this is the biggest show of the year, and you can't find a spot for Kevin Owens? Someone dropped the ball there in WWE in terms of creative, in terms of finding something for one of your best talents on the roster. It's a mistake. Huge mistake.
Yeah, they don't have any kind of contingency. They don't buy on a backup for anything. You know, like, it's bad writing.
Yeah. There's no planning. They were very confused going into this WWE title match. They stumbled into it. They stumbled into the main event as well. The build for this match was really confused. Becky wins the Royal Rumble, and then they pull Becky from the Rumble. I mean, give it to Charlotte instead. They didn't know what they were doing, and they just kind of stumbled their way through the build of that match. They stumbled their way through the build of Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan, and those matches wound up being the best matches and most important matches on the card that the WWE didn't really plan for or plan correctly. And that also shows you, like, what happened tonight shows you that the WWE sucks at judging talent. This was not supposed to happen. Neither of these main events that kicked ass and were great matches, and you had two superstars that were not supposed to be here. Kofi Kingston was not supposed to be WWE champion. This was never the plan. They had no idea what they had with the New Day with Kofi Kingston. We've been saying it for years about Kofi Kingston and the New Day, that this is what he deserves. The WWE had no idea. Even 6 weeks ago, they had no idea. They didn't realize that Becky Lynch was the number one. They were going to do Charlotte versus Ronda. But Becky Lynch and Kofi Kingston got the fan support and became undeniable because they're so good. They're so talented that the WWE had to wake up and had to realize, okay, we have to push them, I guess. And that's the best way to make a superstar. When the WWE doesn't make you, when the fans make you. The WWE, they don't know. They don't really know what they're doing. Once in a while, they listen to their audience, and it obviously works out. They listen to everybody for Kofi Kingston. They listen to everybody for Becky Lynch, and look what you got. 2 classic WrestleMania matches and moments.
They still have their corporate champion, though, Seth Rollins. That's what they wanted from day one, right? They got it.
Yeah, and he opened the show winning the title and got he got a decent response, but I think had that match been in the middle of the card, the response would not have been as hot. I think he got a big response because he won and because it was the first big moment of WrestleMania.
Happy endings, too, helped a lot. Just put all the good guys over. Everyone's happy.
Sure. But, I mean, you see the most important ones at WrestleMania, Kofi and Becky Lynch, they were not supposed to be here.
But they fought their way through. Fought their way through bad booking.
Daniel Bryan, paved the way.
Yeah, he did.
WrestleMania 30, that kind of like fan response is like, well, it's Mania. I guess we got to go in this direction or else we're going to get roasted.
That's right.
No, you're right, yeah. Without question.
All right, boys. We've been going on for a long time. It's very late, and I'm seeing some people in our chat that are watching from overseas. I know Wally, my main man out in Ireland. Top of the morning to you, quite literally, Wally. I think it's about 6:30 a.m. out in Ireland and England, and
yikes.
A lot of people out there staying up to watch us. So I want to give you guys the chance. Give me some final comments here as we wrap this show up for our bedtimes and yours. We've been going over an hour for this WrestleMania post show. I apologize for the technical difficulties we had at the beginning of the show with the microphone and the buffering. The buffering was out of my hands. I don't know what was going on there with the internet, but the microphone, I made a mistake.
That's okay.
I had it muted.
But
most of the show, we did an extra long show so we could all hear you.
Yeah, that's right.
For a longer amount of time. The beginning of the was his mic's kind of messed up and off, but eventually we figured it out.
Wally's happy, so
that's
it's all that matters, really. Yeah.
Wally says, worth it, pal, to see you guys. Well, thank you, Wally. Thank you for staying up. Thank you, everybody. Ask Me Tunes says, glad they got the Seth Lesnar match out of the way. I agree. Anthony McDonough, who I think he's also out there and maybe in Ireland or England. He's out over in Europe. So
cool.
A shout out to you, Anthony. He asks, what's the story of Dean Ambrose? Saw a tweet saying he's re-signed. Others saying tonight was last night of his contract. I don't know. I think Dean Ambrose is done as far as I know. I mean, look, I could see him sign a new contract. I'm sure WWE is eager to keep him. If I were him, I'd explore other options. See what's out there. Why not?
He wasn't on the biggest show of the year.
Barely mentioned. I think the only mention was I think Drew McIntyre like while he was beating up Roman, he's like, "This is what I did to Ambrose" or something like that.
I destroyed the Shield, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was the only mention of Dean. Like the announcers didn't mention, Renee didn't mention Dean. They just said his brothers in the Shield, but they didn't say Seth and Dean. Just his brothers in the Shield.
Yeah. No, I think Dean is gone. I think Dean is definitely gone. And we're about to be gone here, too. JC says, good show, guys. Thank you, JC. Jenny D, shout out to you. Bub Gaming. Gil Silva says, great job, guys. You'll check us out again. Maybe you're a new watcher. If you're a new watcher, new viewer, definitely check us out. Subscribe, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up button. I see some thumbs up. I see one thumbs down. Don't hit the thumbs down button. I don't know who's doing that.
I blame AJ.
It's probably AJ. It's always AJ.
What the hell, man?
AJ always brings a thumbs down. It's usually thumbs down for AJ. So thanks, everybody. Jay Rich. I'm going to try and give... Wally says you can't say Drew McIntyre without the Scottish accent. All right. Drew McIntyre. Jay Rich. I'm going to try and give shout-outs here because it's late, and I appreciate everybody staying up. Gil Silva. Danny Bruck, Wally Byrne, Bob Money, Jenny D, Franco 316, my main man, Virtuoso, JC, I mentioned you. People talking about Abdullah the Butcher on the chat. Man, so many people. Papa Ruff, Alex Taris, Joe Rinaldi. I mean, so many people checking in on the chat. Thank you.
Ghostface.
For checking in. Thank you for watching. Ghostface says he's going to the show Monday in Montreal. He hopes Kevin shows up. Yes, I believe so. I believe that Kevin Owens will be on Raw or SmackDown in Montreal. I'll be at both events. If you're there, come check me out. Give me a shout out. Say what's up to me on Twitter at Dave Simon MMA, and we'll meet up at the show.
Who's the one complaining about the roll up pin for the end of the show? I mean, if you think about it, where were other roll ups? That was kind of cool because it came out of nowhere.
I liked it.
I had no problem with it.
Can I ask you guys for a prediction? Name one person you think is gonna make their debut tomorrow on Raw. For Raw after Mania, usually someone comes up, man or woman. My guess is Kairi Sane.
That's pretty good.
That's good. Yeah. I could see Kairi Sane coming up. Johnny?
I want to say Velveteen Dream, but I think I'm just dreaming when I say that. But
well, he's still a champion in NXT,
but
right?
champions pop up anyways. To me, he's the guy who should come up to the main roster ASAP.
Yeah. Let's see who's in there for NXT.
Undisputed
Era. I could see those guys showing up because, I could see all of them showing up because Adam Cole didn't win the NXT title.
For now.
I could see those guys being brought up. I could also see somebody like Bianca Belair showing up, Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, probably not Shayna because she's still the champion.
You can't call up all the girls. You still need girls in NXT.
Oh, there are some on the come up. They have a whole new batch ready to go. I think you could call them all up and replace them with some other great wrestlers. There's a lot of talent there. Maybe Matt Riddle. I think Matt Riddle's definitely.
Wow, that's quick.
Well, he's ready.
He's ready.
Really?
Oh yeah.
He's more than ready.
He's got a character. The crowd's behind him.
Give me Matt Riddle.
Oh, yeah. Matt Riddle, Daniel Bryan feud right now.
Now that Brock Lesnar's not around, we don't have a UFC guy in the WWE. We need Matt Riddle.
Well, as of right now, it's still Ronda. It's not official yet.
She's not a guy. She's a lady.
Oh, I thought it didn't matter, right? It's all the same.
I'm saying Brock's the UFC guy. That's his gimmick. Ronda's the UFC lady. That's her gimmick. You have to have a man and a lady with the same gimmick in WWE.
Well, you don't have to.
It helps, though. Makes it easier for the writers, right?
Well, you got a Bellator guy, right?
Bobby Lashley?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Not UFC, though. It doesn't have the brand name.
It's too bad.
It is too bad. All right, so shout out to everybody. Anthony McDonough out in London, Wally out in Ireland, and everybody watching. I know it's super late or early wherever you are. It's about 10. It's almost 2 a.m. here Eastern time, and it's about 7 a.m. out in Ireland and London. So a big shout out to you guys. You guys are the real heroes.
I don't know how you did it.
Staying up super late to watch WrestleMania and then watch us here on YouTube. We appreciate you. We love you.
Almost 10 hours of wrestling for them.
Yeah, it's
That's-
been a great
that's a lot.
weekend. And if you didn't see my G1 special show that I did yesterday on YouTube, go watch it right now on this YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit like, leave a comment. It helps us, helps the algorithm on YouTube. Go to our website, wrestlinguncensored.net. And, if you can, leave a little donation over on our website, wrestlinguncensored.net. It helps a lot to keep everything going and keep these shows going and keep the equipment coming, more stuff, more microphones, more possibilities, right?
Right.
A new year of wrestling begins, Wally, my man, and I see you all, and we got a lot going on in the future, so a lot planned here as WrestleMania ends. This is kind of like a new year for Wrestling Uncensored as well, so we got a lot cooking. We got a lot up our sleeves, even though Johnny rarely wears sleeves because he's so jacked. Give us a little flex before we go, big man.
Something like that.
Oh, good God Almighty.
Brother. That's what I'm talking. I'm going to give you a little flex, too.
I think more the right than the left for you. But yeah.
Yeah. The right is like freakishly big. I don't know what's going on. Super strong. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching the show. We got to rest up. We got jiu-jitsu in the morning.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I had a long week too, wrestling, and then WrestleMania day. Like, it's been long.
It's been a long day. We had a great barbecue, Johnny. How many burgers did you eat? How many sausages?
I think what was 6 burgers and 4 sausages.
I had 2 burgers and 2 sausages.
I just had a burger.
6 burgers, 6 sausages.
Well, AJ didn't show up, so I had to eat for AJ.
Yeah,
so.
AJ was supposed to show up. He was supposed to be the 4th man here on the show, but he bailed because, I don't know. We don't really know. We didn't get a real reason. So, thanks, AJ.
You have your theories. I guess we'll talk about that in Dave and Johnny, I guess, this Friday.
Or on Ringside Report Radio with AJ. We'll see. All right. So, thanks, everybody. This has been the Wrestling Uncensored WrestleMania 35 post show, and Johnny and I will review and recap Raw and SmackDown on the next episode of Wrestling Uncensored coming up on Saturday, right?
Those are big shows because the crowd's going to come over again for Monday and Tuesday. Should be fun.
Should be fun. Should be another great week of wrestling. We got more wrestling to watch
A
tomorrow,
lot
guys.
more wrestling.
More wrestling.
It doesn't end.
More wrestling. More Wrestling Uncensored. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.